Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar from me in sort of sunny Hastings today. It's just gone 1 o'clock, so I'm just going to give everyone a chance to join. And as ever, do feel free to drop into the Q&A box and say hi. We've disabled the chat feature as we've discovered it could cause problems for some people using screen readers, but the Q&A option is still live. Glad you could all make it today. Can see the numbers going up. Hello to Marie in Northern Ireland and Matt at Blind Veterans UK in Lewis, just down the road. Hiya. We'll just give it a little bit longer for a few more people to join. Hello from Hampshire and from Washington, DC. Hiya. Hi, Lisa. Okay, can see a lot more of you have joined now, so we'll make a start. So hi everybody and welcome to our webinar, How Can AI Help Disabled People? I'm Annie Mannion and I'm Digital Marketing Manager at AbilityNet, and I'll be running you through today's session. So glad you could make it today. So I'm just going to go through a few bits of housekeeping. We have live captions today provided by Claire at MyClearText. You can turn those on using the CC option on the control panel. And we also have additional captions available via streamtext.net/player?event=AbilityNet. And you can download the slides if you wish and follow along on our website at abilitynet.org.uk/AI webinar. And if you have any technical issues or you need to leave early, don't worry, you'll receive an email in a couple of days' time with the recording, the transcript and the slides. And depending on how you joined the webinar, you'll find a Q&A window. So if you'd like to ask any questions to the panel, please do drop those into the Q&A area. And any that we can't cover in today's session, we'll try to answer and add them to our website at /AI webinar. So just a reminder, we switched off the chat feature as it can cause problems for some people using screen readers, but please do use the Q&A field for any comments. Finally, we also have a feedback survey that you'll be directed to at the end, so please do complete that if you're able. So for those of you who aren't yet familiar with AbilityNet, we're now more than 25 years old, and we support older people and disabled people living with any disability or impairment to use technology to achieve their goals at work, at home and in education. And we do this by providing specialist advice, accessibility testing and training, and free information like our fact sheets and this webinar. So today we're going to be discussing how can AI help disabled people? And to discuss the topic today, I'm delighted we have joining us, we have Robin Christopherson MBE, who is Head of Digital Inclusion at AbilityNet. And also joining us is Michael Vermeersch, who is Accessibility Go-to-Market Manager at Microsoft. And then we also have Tamsin Keyes, who is Publications and Research Manager at Headway, the Brain Injury Association. So yeah, welcome to all of you. And hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll all have reassurance and ideas about how AI can be used to benefit disabled people. So I'm just going to start with a poll to find out a bit more about you all and your experiences of AI. So I'm just going to launch that now. So can you tell us how confident do you feel using AI technology? So are you very confident, okay with some devices, not confident at all, or not applicable? Depending on how you joined the webinar, you may find that you can't see the poll, but you can respond in the Q&A panel. So just give a little bit more time for anybody that wants to vote. Okay, just a few more moments. Last few decision makers. Okay, I'm going to end the poll now and share the results. So looking at the results, the highest responses are I'm okay with some devices or sites, that's 45%. Then we have 20% are confident, then 19% not confident, 7% are very confident, and 7% are not at all confident, and then 1% are not applicable. Okay, I'll stop sharing now. So yeah, thank you for completing the poll, and it's really useful to gauge the experiences of everybody joining us. And today's speakers will be able to offer some really valuable advice. So now over to AbilityNet's Robin Christopherson to provide his suggestions for how AI can help, not hinder your life.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Annie. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining. It is an exciting topic, isn't it? Today, we're going to start off by looking at some of the really helpful applications today that are helping empower people with disabilities or a range of impairments. And later on in the Q&A part in particular, I imagine we'll start looking forward to the future as well, and some of the more cutting edge uses of AI that promise to just be round the corner. So Kelly is kindly driving the slides. So if we move on to the next slide, we're going to look at it in the different areas of impairment. So we'll start off with vision and just look at 2 or 3 apps or services in each area of impairment that are really helpful today to just give people an idea. There's absolutely no way that we could cover all areas that AI is being applied to. As I'm sure you're aware, there is not a single tech story that hasn't got AI in the title at the moment. So every device is trying to layer on AI in some shape or form. But let's have a quick look at some of the sort of standout applications for people in these different impairment categories. So we start off with Be My AI, which I don't know if people are aware of Be My Eyes, which is, for me as a blind person anyway, one of the go-to apps that help me to understand the world. Now, Be My Eyes has been around for a while. It basically calls a volunteer, and there are 3.5 million volunteers. If you want to add to that number, by all means, just download the app, Be My Eyes. It's on both platforms. And Be My AI is a new addition to it. And we'll look at a quick video of that in a moment, but it's applying AI where, where it can be useful rather than having to bother a volunteer. Seeing AI is another app which you may or may not be aware of. Again, it's available on both platforms. This is from Microsoft this time, and it uses the camera and AI to be able to understand the world around you, just like we're going to see with Be My AI in a moment. So it's very, very similar. You can recognize text, objects, QR and barcodes, what's around you. It can even recognize handwriting and that sort of thing. So really, really clever stuff. Google Lens, which is Android only, I believe, is a similar, really, really powerful app. Mainstream, arguably, but really, really useful. If you haven't got that, then download that and have a play with that as well. Really, really powerful for image searches, for text recognition, object recognition, that sort of thing. So this is where AI and the sensors, in this case, the camera, in your smartphone that's with you all the time is absolutely changing the lives of people with disabilities. If we go on to the next slide. So we're going to watch a quick clip of Be My AI in action as introduced by the Be My Eyes team. And just a heads up, we're not going to play all of these video clips I'm going to show you for, we've got so much to cram in. So apologies when I cut them short. I'll just let Kelly know to stop the video. So yeah, let's have a go.
Artificial intelligence is set to take a mobile phone app that helps blind and partially sighted people to the next level. It'll speed up the way the app helps in many of the everyday decision-making processes, which sighted people take for granted.
At the age of 17, Lucy Edwards lost her sight altogether. Now a bit of tech is helping her picture
voice memos
what she can't see.
Open Be My Eyes.
Take picture.
Lucy is one of the first in the world to trial an artificial intelligence-powered app.
What's in the fridge? ?
To not only describe the world around her,
Such as eggs, milk, cheese,
but to contextualise it too.
What can I make with these ingredients? ?
Virtual volunteer. There are many dishes you could make with those ingredients, such as an omelette, scrambled eggs, or grilled cheese.
That's so cool.
The app uses ChatGPT, an AI-powered tool which this week was updated to be able to interpret pictures as well as words.
Based on the picture, it seems like the milk expires on the 21st of December, 2023.
It's really good just to, make sure I know that I'm not going to kill myself or anyone else around us by eating mouldy food.
Does it always get it right?
Yeah, I would say 95% of the time. What are the models wearing in the photo?
The models are wearing various outfits from the Chanel Spring/Summer 2003 ready-to-wear collection.
This app makes me cry. I took a photo of a tube map and it told me where to go. I had not been confident on the tube for 10 years and it's doing that. So I can't wait for what else it can do.
The app's been going for 8 years, but previously relied.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so the app with the humans on the other end of the camera has been around for a while, really changing the lives of blind and low vision people. But as we heard Lucy say there, this has made her cry. It's so impactful. Just can't stress strongly enough how big an impact AI is having on people with a range of impairments. And we're going to move on to hearing on the next slide. So Ava / Roger Voice, these are very similar apps using AI for real-time, really accurate transcriptions. In many cases, these translation or these kind of voice recognition services have moved over to using the large language models like Whisper, which is ChatGPT's one, to have really amazing recognition accuracy. And they do real-time translation into text on the screen for people with a hearing impairment. They can do real-time translation from one language to another. And some of them have built-in TTS, text-to-speech capabilities, so they can speak it out straight away. The Roger Voice in particular, when it's made a mistake, you can tap on the word on the screen and you can say what you meant to say. And as far as I'm aware, that's unique in these solutions because, it doesn't get it right every single time. So to be able to learn like that, particularly when the people that you use it for every day, your family, your friends, etc., may have particular accents, or you don't want to have to live with the fact that it's going to get that particular word wrong every time one of your friends or family say it. So that is really, really powerful. Heard That, I would encourage people to go to heardthat.ai when you've come off this webinar to video and slide the interactive slider, and it will be amazing. Your ears will pop out just like your eyes would if you saw something amazing. As you hear the really noisy cafe noises fade away and the person talking to be still clear as a bell. So that is a brilliant app. I think it's just available on iOS, but I could be wrong there. Really amazing. And Orca 2 is a really powerful AI-powered hearing aid, which does something very similar, constantly adjusting its kind of settings, its EQ or its noise cancellation settings to be able to give you the best voice to noise ratio so that you can understand what's going on. As a blind person, and a lot of conditions mean that you lose your vision and your hearing in older age, a lot of blind people wouldn't want to filter out background noises because you don't want to get run over by a car or whatever. You need to hear those important sounds. So it's certainly not a given that everyone wants to have extraneous noises cancelled, for example. On the next slide, we're going to watch a quick burst of this Synapse video. Now, signing avatars have been a real challenge, and anyone who uses signing on a day-to-day basis will tell you how poor they are. They just don't capture the whole body experience, the facial expressions, everything that accompany signing. It's not by just the hands or face by any means. So Synapse use AI to do a much better job, they say. Anyway, I can't personally comment, not being able to see, but we're going to watch the first 20, 30 seconds or so of this interview where you'll see the signer in action in the corner, I think.
Hi, I'm Sally Chalk, the Chief Exec of Synapse.
And I'm Ben Saunders, CTO of Synapse. Alongside our CRO Richard, we are the co-founders of Synapse. Synapse builds AI software that automatically translates from a written text, such as English, to a sign language video, such as American Sign Language.
There are 60 million deaf people in the world who use sign language daily, with a market size of $1.2 billion in the States alone. My previous role as founder of an interpreting agency,
I think we'll leave it there.
with a drastic.
Thank you so much, Kelly. By the way, guys, we can make these slides available afterwards. We've got, links. A lot of these things that we're including here are linkified, so you can go and follow them there as well, and you can watch the rest of the video if you want to. So yeah, really, I mean, I can't comment, but it's supposed to be really good. So I'd be interested to know if there are any hearing impaired people on the call what they think of it. We move on to the next slide. Communication. So we're on the third of the 4 categories now. And Google have been really active in this space. There's Project Euphonia, which was renamed to Relate, which we're going to look at a quick video of in a moment in action. And if you think that, Glaswegian or, some accents give mainstream voice recognition software a run for their money, then people with cerebral palsy, for example, are, an even bigger challenge, but it's doing amazing things, as we'll see in a moment. And then Paratron, Project Paratron, is a similar idea, but it instantly translates it into text-to-speech. So, you could imagine someone with cerebral palsy or MND to be able to just talk, and then it instantly translates it out for somebody else. No more using, time-consuming AAC devices where you can laboriously pick from a bank of stock phrases, etc. If you've got some useful speech tool, then this will be really useful. And let's see it in action. If we go on to the next slide. So this is an example of the Relate technology that is in those projects that we looked at a moment ago in action. And we'll just watch a little bit of this.
This is Bill. Bill is helping us with Project Relate. Project Relate is an Android app from Google, designed for people who have non-standard speech. Let's do this. It allows people to chat more freely, express themselves more easily, and be better understood. If you think Project Relate could help you, or someone you know, sign up here. To become one of our testers.
Ooh, we watched the whole thing. Okay, thank you. It's okay. On the next slide, we're going to do the last category, which is learning/cognitive or cognitive/learning. And here, Google obviously features large, as it does in many areas too. So Google Lens, really useful, not only if you've got low vision to be able to see what you're picking out of the cupboard, but if you have learning difficulty as well, to be able to recognize objects and often tap through to get useful information about it, or to have the ingredients or the cooking instructions spoken out to you, for example, which you can do. So yeah, really powerful. Just download it and have a play, guys. It's amazing. Take a photograph of each other and work out how, and see if it says how old you are. Always good for a laugh. So yeah, AI visual search, you've all tried it online to be able to find images and stuff, and all that is the same technology at its heart, being able to not just search for text, but search for objects and images online too. Helpicto, so French only, but a really good example of where you can take text sentences and turn them into pictures, helpful pictures. You may have heard of symbol-based languages like Makaton or Rebus. Well, this is really useful for people with a cognitive impairment too, to be able to understand written text, and obviously having them spoken out by Google, the likes of Google Lens or Seeing AI or whatever, really helps as well. Goblin Tools, this is a website, a web service, and it basically just is a really smart AI-powered to-do list. It does use AI. It's not just kind of like breaking down things for, that you've put in there to give you like each item as at a time, 1 to 10 in your kind of to-do list. It will create the to-do list for you. So it will, use smarts to look at what you've put down as a particular task and actually, go away and find out how you could break that down, a bit like a kind of a Google search or a ChatGPT search, and it will come back and give you the breakdown of how you perform those, etc. So really useful. Have a look at that. And we're going to finish off before we hand over to Tamsin, looking at the massive hotness that was the Rabbit R1 from CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Okay, then, a couple of months ago, and this was the Rabbit R1. What is it? Well, we're going to watch a quick flavor from this video. We won't watch it all again, and I'll give my comments afterwards.
So what's Rabbit Steal? The startup has put out this R1, which is a little phone-adjacent device that acts as a standalone AI assistant. But with no subscription fee, how are they going to make money? Rabbit's secret sauce is what they call Large Action Model, or LAM. Unlike large language models, which are trained on millions of books and articles, the LAM is trained on images and videos of people using apps. So it basically learns how to press buttons the way that people do. And it does that not by using an API, but by pretending to be you actually using the app. But here's the thing. Running any AI model at scale is not cheap. And Rabbit doesn't even have its own language model. So it told me that it's using OpenAI, Anthropic, and Perplexity APIs in order to understand what the user is asking for. That's not cheap either. So how do they make money? I asked Rabbit and they gave me two answers. First, the CTO said they make enough money off of the hardware to cover their API costs, for now. Ominous. Second, they've talked about the ability for users to...
So thank you so much. It goes on to talk a bit more about how it's going to make money, which is obviously an important topic if we want it to stay around. It's a cool gadget, $199. They are completely sold out now. I'll have to wait for the R2 or the second, manufacturing run of the R1. The main thing that we take away from that is the large action model. We've all have heard of LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude, etc. Well, this is a large action model. And as we heard there, it will actually learn how you interact with websites and apps. It will literally do the clicking or the tapping for you to get through those UIs. And it's not just recording a macro, because if something moves, if the UI changes, then this, the smarts, the AI within it will compensate for that. It can intuitively know what button to press to submit a form, or what forms to, what fields to fill out in that form, etc. So you can literally ask it to book flights for you, book a, table at so-and-so restaurant for 7. And you don't have to have the API, as he mentioned there. You don't have to have the official interaction implemented between, in this case, the Rabbit software, Rabbit OS, and the given website or service. So it will literally just use the app or the website for you. That's the promise of large action models. Maybe you heard it here first. Large action models, they're the next big hotness, along with large language models. So yep, my time is over. I'll pass you over now to Tamsin of Headway, who is going to talk some amazing things that they are doing over there. Thanks, Tamsin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. So my name is Tamsin Keyes, and I'm the Publications and Research Manager at Headway, the Brain Injury Association. We're a UK-based charity that we support people affected by acquired brain injury. And I'm here today to give a brief overview on what brain injury is, how it can affect people, and how digital advancements such as AI can be used to better understand and assist people living with the impact of this often hidden and sometimes misunderstood disability. Next slide, please. Oh, next one, please. Thank you. So I just want to begin with a brief overview of what I mean by the term acquired brain injury. A very simple definition is that it's an injury that has been sustained to the brain since birth. So it's not something that somebody's born with, that's a congenital condition, and it's not a gradual deterioration of brain matter and functions such as in the neurodegenerative conditions. Acquired brain injuries are very often unexpected. For instance, if someone's been involved in an accident or an assault in which their brain has been injured, this is referred to as a traumatic brain injury. Or there can be non-traumatic forms such as medical conditions like stroke, complications such as starvation of oxygen to the brain, that's an anoxic injury, or space-occupying lesions such as brain tumours. So there's lots and lots of different types of brain injury, but in all cases the brain has been injured, often very unexpectedly, and very often the person has to be treated in hospital either to attempt to repair the injury that's taken place already or to prevent any further damage from being sustained. Now, unfortunately for many people, the hospital treatment stage is only the first part of life with brain injury, and many people continue to have long-term, often lifelong consequences of the injury as well. Next slide, please. Now, everything that we do and say and feel comes from the brain. So injury to it, regardless of exactly where that injury has taken place, can cause lots and lots of different effects and complications and issues, some of which are more common than others. I definitely don't have time to cover all the effects of brain injury today, but I've put some of the more common ones on the screen there. For example, it's very common that people have problems with their memory, both with remembering things on a daily basis, a regular basis, or even personal memories from a very long time ago. Fatigue is also incredibly common after brain injury, so that's an overwhelming tiredness that people can feel seemingly out of the blue. Executive dysfunction is an umbrella term to describe some of the skills that we use when we're completing actions. So things like setting goals, multitasking, flexible thinking, and that sort of thing. And as you can imagine, many of these effects of brain injury have a much wider impact on the person's life. For example, it affects relationships, a person's ability to return to work, to return to driving, independence, and very often mental health as well. Often after brain injury, people will go through a period of rehabilitation to help them with recovering these skills. For example, physiotherapy can be used for mobility issues, and speech and language therapy can be used with communication issues. However, sometimes it's not possible to completely recover a lost skill, and the person needs to learn to use compensatory strategies or external aids to cope. Traditionally, these have been things like using a notepad or a calendar or an alarm clock to cope with things such as memory impairment, or keeping a manual fatigue diary to keep track of when fatigue has happened and what factors and what triggers have been involved in that. But we're increasingly moving towards this digital age in all respects of life. So we are starting to see how and where things like AI can be used to assist with these sorts of issues. Next slide, please. So I've given a description, a very brief description of what ABI is, acquired brain injury. What about AI? Now, we do have somebody with us from Microsoft on our panel today, so I've taken the Microsoft definition, and that's the capability of a computer system to mimic human-like cognitive functions such as learning and problem solving. Another definition from Britannica is that it's the capability of a computer to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. So with both of these definitions and many other definitions of AI, it's the ability of a computer or machinery to operate in a way that it's able to complete tasks and processes that the human brain is typically capable of. And this goes far back to 1930s to Alan Turing, who wanted to build a machine to imitate the brain. Now, the brain is often likened to a computer. It's an age-old philosophical debate, but there are parallels in terms of how both of them operate. For example, both computers and the brain rely on electricity traveling down very specific pathways to complete very specific processes. Within the brain, this is done through highly specialized cells called neurons. In computers, I'm not going to pretend I know the names of all the different components that are involved in this process. But these parallels do exist, and we also have things like there's an element of input, processing and output in both systems. And this is where things such as brain implants, for instance, have been utilized as an external device that can be incorporated into the ways that the brain is working. And this can be even more powerful when AI is included in that process, and AI is able to learn and recognize patterns of brain activity. Now, this obviously has quite strong implications for when the brain has been injured and when it's unable to complete its normal degree of processing and function. But brain implants are quite invasive. Other forms of AI can be used as compensatory aids, as I discussed in the previous slide. We are moving into this digital age, so AI can offer a really dynamic way of compensating in some of these cases, and maybe even exceeding the capabilities of more traditional compensatory aids, because it can continue to learn and adapt and offer a really personalized experience for the individual. And that's incredibly important within the context of brain injury, because no two injuries are ever the same. As we saw earlier, there's many different types of injury, many different possible consequences of that. And fundamentally, people are all incredibly different. So being able to develop and learn individual patterns of activity and adapt to individual differences can be a real strength and advantage of AI. Next slide, please. So I'd like to use some examples of AI technology and how they are already being used or could be used by people affected by brain injury. The first of these is self-driving cars. Now, driving is a very complicated skill. It doesn't just include the manual handling of the car, but there's a whole range of cognitive processes that go behind driving as a skill. For instance, we need to use things like multitasking, we need to have sustained attention, we need to be able to very quickly respond to hazards on the road that we see. There's lots of different skills involved. And unfortunately, many of these skills can be impaired by a brain injury. So very often people may lose their license either permanently or temporarily, and that can be really distressing and really difficult for people to adjust and adapt to. So self-driving cars have got the potential to compensate for some of these cognitive issues that people with brain injury may have, and they may be able to compensate for some of those limitations so that people, even after a brain injury, may be able to continue driving, to continue having that independence and continue having that quality of life that people often lose when they're no longer able to drive. There's also smart home technologies. Now, there's lots of different types of these, but they can be incredibly useful for people with brain injury within the home environment. For example, people might forget because of memory impairment to lock their front door when they go out. So there's things such as smart locks that can be used. There's a whole range of smart kitchen appliances that can be really useful for people. There's things like smart plugs. So if people forget to switch electrical devices off, that can often be obviously quite a serious health and safety risk. So all of these kinds of things can ensure that people are safe and secure within their home environment, even if they do have things such as memory impairments or problems with processing information. Bots and digital assistants, so these can be really useful for people with information processing difficulties. If they're struggling to process information that they're seeing online, struggling to work through the sequence and the steps needed for something, bots and digital assistants can really be quite a hand-holding process through this. And it can be really useful to facilitate activity. So these can be very helpful for people as well. Health data analysis, we're increasingly seeing AI being applied to things like diagnosing and investigating and scanning for brain injuries. So up until now, scans interpretations have been quite subjective. They've relied on people to analyse the data. AI has got the potential to be quite an objective measure. So we are starting to see things like AI being used for things like brain tumour detections or screening for and identifying things like concussion, which can be notoriously difficult to diagnose, but it's obviously a very hot topic at the moment. And for social media, again, this is very much about giving people a very personalised and tailored experience. They might struggle to access information that they're looking for, but AI can be used to generate some of the content that people have been looking for based upon previous searches. And that can make it a very tailored experience for many brain injury survivors that might otherwise struggle to access and find that information themselves. Next slide, please. Excuse me. So we just also wanted to ask our online communities, what kind of examples of AI have they already been using, or what can they foresee that they would be using in the future? So these are some examples from our online communities. ChatGPT is the big one. We've already heard about that a little bit, but it's obviously a very powerful tool. And it has been suggested that it could be used for things like treatment plans or recommendations for adaptations. Very many people after a brain injury struggle with returning to work because of the various impairments that they may experience, but they might struggle with identifying what kind of adaptations they can ask for, what kinds of things they can do within that kind of workplace context that would make the role easier and adjustable for them. So ChatGPT has got the power to input some personal circumstances, whether that's for treatment, rehabilitation, or adaptations, and generate some really useful constructive guidance for people that they might struggle with otherwise accessing. And again, this comes back to it being a really powerful tool for individual circumstances. Grammarly is another one that might be very useful for people that have, for instance, communication difficulties or problems with word retrieval or word finding. These issues are quite common after brain injury. So Grammarly has got the power to assist people with constructing sentences or correcting sentences, and has been used by, for example, people that were previously writers, and then they sustained a brain injury, and now they've lost some of those functions. So it's a really powerful tool for people in those sorts of situations as well. And Alexa is quite a common one. It has obviously got a lot of support potential within home environments for people to stay on top of medication reminders, or if they've got appointments. Again, if people have difficulties with their memory, then Alexa can be a really useful tool to prompt them to remember information that they might otherwise struggle with. So these are some of the examples from our online communities. I'm sure there's many more, and I'm sure we'll continue to see many more of those as time goes on. Next slide, please. So AI does carry a lot of potential and possibilities, but it is a very rapidly evolving field, and quite rightly there are also some legitimate concerns around the ethics of these sorts of technologies. Now, I don't have time to go through this list in detail right now. I think I might have already run over time slightly, but these are some of the concerns and considerations reported within the wider field of neuroethics, not just by Headway, but more broadly from the likes of academic institutions and the Royal Society. So some of these are quite obvious concerns around data protection and privacy, but there have also been some wider discussions around who is ultimately responsible for monitoring the safety of AI. Is it the government? Is the legislation in place to support people and protect them properly? Is it the public's responsibility, such as the user's responsibility, or is it big corporations' responsibility to make sure that everything is done within an ethical framework? Another point raised recently is about the media's ethical responsibility on reporting AI advancements in a way that it doesn't trigger any fear and it doesn't exceed people's expectations about the very real capabilities and the actual limitations of these technologies. So that's one thing that people with brain injury need to be aware of, that some of the media reports about the power of AI, they just need to be managed appropriately, that it's not a cure, it's not a miracle cure for some of the effects of brain injury. And even though it's a very rapidly evolving field, there is a responsibility to balance that message. More specific to brain injury, there have been concerns around AI possibly taking over opportunities within the workplace. So similar with the Industrial Revolution, we're possibly entering somewhat of a digital revolution where AI can be used to do a variety of jobs and roles. And many people do struggle with returning to work after brain injury. And it's around 40% of people that have had a brain injury are able to return to the workplace. And even though there are these legal requirements to offer accommodations for people with disability within the workplace, if AI has the power to complete a job with no issues, then where does that leave brain injury survivors who are looking for work opportunities? So lots going on in the field of neuroethics as well. And I'm sorry I don't have time to go through this list, but of course, do feel free to contact me if you want further information. Next slide, please. And just to caveat that last point slightly, this is a very new territory, both for the world, but also for us at Headway. So while I'm happy to take questions, I do want to give a slight disclaimer that I'm by no means an expert in this field, and I may have to do a bit of research myself before being able to respond to inquiries that you have. But we are becoming increasingly aware of the changing landscape with AI and brain injury and how it carries potentials, but also very real concerns for brain injury survivors. So conversely, if you have any input that you'd like to share with us at Headway about your experiences or your knowledge in this area, please do feel free to get in touch with me. My details are on the screen. And this is a field that we will be continuing to monitor from Headway and making sure that we continue to do what we can in this evolving world to support people affected by brain injury. Thank you so much for your time, and sorry for running over slightly.
That's okay. No, thanks so much for those insights, Tamsin and Robin before you. And just a quick reminder, you can access all of the slides at the moment from our webinar page, which is at abilitynet.org.uk/AI webinar. So next up we have Michael Vermeersch of Microsoft, who will talk about how AI is in use in workplaces. And also just to note, there's lots of slides that are quite packed with information. So yeah, do download the slides and you can see more detail on them. Over to you, Michael.
Fabulous. That's my cue then. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Thank you. Welcome to this part of the presentation, the talk. It's about bridging the disability employment gap with AI and Copilot. I asked actually Copilot to generate a striking title for this presentation. So without further ado, next slide. I like to start with these things about the opportunity. What are we talking about? And there's a lot of talent out there that are not necessarily included in our workforce. 9.5 million people of working age in the UK who have a disability. That's roughly 23% of the working age population. That's a lot of talent that we are not including. If you then think about it, that many of us are going to gain a disability during our working lives, and the average age is apparently 46. So that's 83% of us are going to gain a disability during our working lives. Only 17% of people with disabilities are born with a disability. So, and it also looks like we're going to age longer, and it looks like some governments would like us to work longer as well. So, you know, taking this into account is definitely really key to continue to harness that talent which is out there. What we've also seen is that when employers, and this is a high number, 72%, when employers introduce adjustments in the shape of assistive technology or features which go into that field, they see overall workforce productivity go up. And this is not just with employees with disabilities. These features are great for everybody. You can, on the LinkedIn slides you will see more about this study and this data. Next. Just a little bit about AI. You already had a lot about AI, so I'm just going to go maybe as in a summary what you've seen so far. Obviously there's innovation here. We could be looking at new possibilities. Already you can know what meal to make out of the contents of your fridge. I know I might not get a great reaction for the moment, having a kitchen renovation being done. But at the same time, you know, there's huge other amount of opportunities that we have here. But what we see is that AI, and thanks to Tamsin there as well, can amplify human capability. That will improve the way that people with disabilities can interact and leverage technology in their daily life. So what we've seen that AI can help perceive images and sounds and understand them and give us an idea of what is in front of us. It will learn from these inputs and interactions, and with the word learn here, it will get better over time. We heard a little bit about large language models and large action models. So it is actually learning on how to, for example, be a better internet surfer, but I would like to see how to be a better surgeon, how to be a better driver, all of that kind of stuff. It can reason because now, thanks to the digital world that we're living in, it can have access to more data, be it language, be it pictures, and amongst that data, start recognizing patterns, and that could be behavior, that could be response, all of that kind of stuff, and out of that, give you the next best action that typically happens. So for example, when I actually ask, do I need to put a raincoat on today? Typically, you might want to ask, is it going to rain today? AI is already going to say, what the person actually means is it going to rain today? So I can then now answer, yeah, go on, go wear a raincoat today. So we can already see that is the logical thing that is being asked here. But here's the thing as well. This is all a bit feels new and strange to us, but a lot of this is already embedded in the stuff that we work with, and we just don't see it. So for example, in Windows 11, advert alert, in Windows 11, you already have offline the capability to have captions. So what happened there is that whole compute model, that whole machine learning model has been condensed and is running on your local chips without connectivity to the internet. So already this is just happening. Next. Slide, sorry. Now, the stuff that we're seeing here, this is kind of described in this paragraph here. And this paragraph has two parts. And that first part is very much what we've seen and what is already there. And I'm going to read it out to you, but I just want to have it sink in here. Artificial intelligence and the emergence of cognitive services, hearing, seeing, reading it out for you, listening, cognitive services in the cloud led to a reimagining of assistive technology, or how we engage with our environment, and led to an increased focus on inclusive design. So, for example, you know, in your car, if you're fortunate enough, if that's is that what gives you joy, you could already start talking to parts of the car. You don't necessarily have to touch the screen, and that could be a tricky affair to do while you're driving, right? So we have an increased focus on inclusive design. But here's the next line in this paragraph. Generative AI, that innovation, large language models, large action models, is likely to create a similar moment, but this time the inclusion is likely to be via mainstream technology across industries. And I find that's very exciting, because basically what it means is that it's going to be pervasive in everything that we can and will have, and it will be pervasive across the use cases that we are experiencing. That could be, I'm here to check your boiler, whether your boiler is working, I need to have it repaired, or that could be a public healthcare situation, all of that kind of stuff across industries. And that makes it very exciting as well. That's an extra level of inclusion. Next slide. Now, we had already quite some experimentation, trialing with our product called Copilot, which is now part of our modern work technology, which has AI. And amongst those customers, we kind of seen three things. There's in three buckets. Just checking on time, I'm going to just speed up a little bit, just making sure that you get everything here. On the one hand, guidelines and standards. Yeah, that's really key from an accessibility perspective, right? But the question and the observation that we've seen, I will get to the answer here. For the moment, they're rhetoric, the questions. How relevant are guidelines and standards in the world of AI? The next bucket is, we're seeing new user and accessibility experiences, right? We've seen those today already. How does it impact the experience of people with disabilities? We've seen moments of joy there, etc. But we'll get back to that. What else can we do? Are there new or other experiences suddenly available thanks to AI? Well, we already see that you can make an omelette and kind of stuff like that just by seeing pictures, right? So the spoilers were already there, but that is what we've seen in our trials. Next slide. The next slide shows you a little bit of Copilot in action. There are many use cases. Didn't want to do a demo on the spot. It's always tricky. And we wanted to be on time for you as well. But here you have a Word file. This Word file exists. It's actually about the UK Disability Confidence Scheme. It's a document which is on the website, which talks about that Disability Confidence Scheme. And basically, it's an overview and a case study. And a typical Word file, you see a title, subheaders, some bullet points, and some text, and etc. Now, what has happened here is that we asked Copilot, can you make me a presentation about this? And I want so many slides, and I want some pictures, and I want you to really focus on the points which are important. Next slide. And lo and behold, what Copilot has produced here is based purely on text, a PowerPoint presentation which lists, again, parts of that Word document, but brings it out. Here you see the highlights of the bullet points and the benefits that was in the article, and the bullet points that are the benefits, the intricate benefits underneath that title point of the benefits of being a disability confident employer, puts up a picture next to it, even produce a speaker text. And at the same time, that picture will already have alt text against it as well. That scenario is real. Next slide. Now, why is this? Why is this important? Why is this key? How can this bridge, for example, the disability employment gap? We got this kind of slide set against all our tech. So do contact your account executive, for example, and ask to know more. But this one is for PowerPoint. And basically, you see the disability segments, vision, hearing, neurodiversity and learning, mental health and mobility. And then you see the use cases. And then we talk a little bit about inclusive design. But the use cases that you've seen in a PowerPoint here is a couple that we feel are addressed via that simple scenario, Word file to PowerPoint. First of all, for people who have loss of vision, visual content has been created purely based on text, digital text, but also that could have been speech to text where I gave instructions to Copilot, make me a presentation, 12 slides maximum, I want some pictures, and I want to get you the key points. Boom, action happens. The next category of this use case is neurodiversity and learning. You know what? There's this element where starting from a blank page could be really tricky. What is important? I know what I like, but I'm not sure that's important. Can you summarize me this in a way that really will speak to an audience? And those are even instructions that you can give specifically to Copilot as well. You can say, I want words with no more than 2 syllables. I wanted to bring in then plain text, all of that kind of stuff. Mental well-being, it takes effort. There's a cognitive load there. You might not be at a great day to do creativity. And I need to find pictures against this as well. Boom, Copilot solved this for you. Now, no hands used, I could say. This was purely speech to text. This can help with the mobility load as well, whether you have arthritis or actually drawing. I've got dyspraxia. Drawing these things and getting this really precisely can take me more time. So there's a mobility use case there as well. Next slide. So back to our buckets. What have we seen here? And that should be my last slide. What have we seen here? From a guidelines and standards perspective, I haven't talked to you about guidelines and standards. I haven't mentioned WCAG and all of those standards. But I could argue, do I care? As a person with a disability, do I care? No. AI and Copilot has created a great user experience for me and has helped me create content which is accessible, and I had full control. I had a Copilot and I was the pilot. Do I care about the standards and all that kind of stuff? 24/7 personal assistant. What more could I want? Next bucket in the middle there. I'm getting new user and accessibility experiences. I might not know where the picture library is. I might not know how to do certain things with PowerPoint. It will either show me if I ask, how do I do a page return, that kind of stuff. I can ask those questions. I can ask even questions. I got loss of vision. Can you help me find what helps me in Office with that? But basically, it just does the work for me, and I do not need to know all intricacies of PowerPoint here. The right bucket, augmenting existing technology. Some very simple use cases, right? I can do PowerPoint, I can recognize images and all that kind of stuff. I still will go back to that fridge. Suddenly, I know with those ingredients, I can make a yummy omelette, and boom, that is something from an inventory of a fridge I wouldn't necessarily have thought about. Definitely not when I was a teenager. So suddenly we're having new use cases just based on existing technology thanks to AI. And I think that's me done.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. And yeah, just to mention, we'll come back to you in a moment for questions for the panel. And just very briefly before that, I'd like to just do another quick poll with everybody to find out how confident you now feel trying out AI technology. So I'll just launch the poll now. So are you very confident? Confident? Think you'll be okay with some devices and sites? Not confident, not at all confident, or not applicable. And just a reminder, you may need to respond in the Q&A panel if you can't see the poll. So I'll just leave that just a few more moments, so we've got more time for a few questions for you before we end the webinar. Okay, I'm going to end the poll now. And the results are that, yeah, the confidence has definitely been boosted. So 42% of you are okay with some devices and sites, 38% confident, 16% very confident, and then there's 3% not confident, 1% not at all confident, and 0 non-applicable. So that's great. So please do fire away in the Q&A window with your questions. As I've mentioned before, any unanswered questions we will capture on our website in the next couple of days, and you'll be sent a link to access those answers. So just looking through the questions, there's a question about there's somebody who has asked, I can see the benefits of AI to disabled users. Do you have any comments about the bias that's built into AI systems that discriminate against disabled users? Is that something that you've noticed? Maybe a question for Robin to start with. Oh, Robin, you're on mute.
How about now?
Yeah, all good.
Sorry about that. I was just saying that like any tool, it can be used for good or ill, and there are loads of applications of AI at the moment that are being, causing huge problems in every area, and not least in disability. One example that jumps to mind is in recruitment. 73% of people with a vision impairment, for example, are out of work, and we've got a lot to offer. So we've got huge challenges already in being accepted into the workplace. And then if you're faced in an application process by a robot assessor who takes no account of the fact that you might need extra time for whatever reason, due to an impairment or dyslexia or a stammer, whatever it might be, one that, counts your keystrokes as a kind of a metric of performance, when in fact you're using dictation because that's your preferred input method, all of those things. So, there are loads of areas where AI is actually causing significant problems. And obviously capture, we all know about capture, and that's an arms race. The visual challenges will only get harder. The audio challenges will only get more garbled as AI gets better at cracking them. So yeah, there's loads of areas where it's pushing against empowering us, that's for sure.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on to a question for each of you, just so we've covered a few different bases, but like I say, we'll cover all of the questions later on the webpage. So there's a question from Michael. With Copilot, is it possible to specify a reading age for the content that's created? Yeah. Okay.
That was an easy one.
Another. Oh, sorry.
So I sometimes, so the short answer is yes. I often go say, right, reading ages. So for me, Microsoft, we do a lot of presentations. There's a lot of decks we can do. We like our people to learn and that kind of stuff. And then we get a 120 slide deck sent to you. Here you are. This is all the stuff, the new stuff you want to learn. And I don't tell me my manager's this, and I go, Copilot, can you summarize this to me? And actually to give me a little bit of a speed reading, just pretend like I'm 9 years old and I just want the gist of it. And it does that. Which I quickly want to refer to the spoon theory. If anybody knows that with regards to energy, people with disabilities face those barriers continuously, right? Because they live in a world which is not necessarily inclusive. Apart from just talking about the spoons and the energy it takes, Copilot can give you moments of joy back that you're like, yes, I now have it like I wanted. Thank you very much. So that, I think it's the first time I actually see energy being given back to you.
Very good point. Thank you. And then a question for Tamsin. How common is IQ gain after a brain injury? Somebody has given an example about IQ gain after a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We do often focus entirely on the negative consequences of brain injury, and we talk a lot about impairments and loss of function, loss of skill. But people do report having quite positive outcomes of brain injury as well. This is often called post-traumatic growth, where people can develop resilience and what some people even call superpowers after brain injury. So there is that possibility, and that often takes place a couple of years after the initial injury has happened. The brain is able to form new connections. So when it's damaged, you can't repair what's already damaged, but it can form new connections through a process called neuroplasticity. So whether that contributes to people gaining these new skills and what they call their superpowers, it is a possibility. I can't say exactly in terms of IQ levels, because it's not something that I particularly know about in terms of improved IQ scores after brain injury. But these might all be contributing factors to people feeling like they are developing new skills, new strengths. Some people might become more attuned to sort of personal developmental skills after brain injury. So again, things like resilience, being more empathetic, having a greater appreciation and a different perspective of life. So all of these things, again, it's not quite IQ, but these things might be contributing to, having better emotional well-being, feeling more kind of grounded, which might help towards these things. So I don't know if that quite answers the question. It's certainly something I can look into and provide some more information on in terms of the links of improved IQ after brain injury. But yeah, there certainly can be positive outcomes of brain injury as well.
Well, thank you all so much. And yeah, I'm sorry we haven't had a lot of time to answer questions live. But just to say thank you to all of you. We've just got a few more slides just to go through to say that just AbilityNet does offer free support, free IT support at home and online via our network of tech volunteers. And we also have a range of fact sheets and webinars on our website, including a new What is AI and How Do I Use It fact sheet that's been developed by Scottish AI, and you can find that at /AI-fact sheet. And we'll share details of how you can contact us within the webpage that you'll be sent afterwards. We also run training sessions on digital accessibility and inclusion. You can book in-house staff training and e-learning options for staff at abilitynet.org.uk/training. So do look out for follow-up emails from this webinar for details of our special offers that you might like to take up. You can save 10% on our training courses using the discount code AbilityNet Webinar 10. And coming soon, we have embedding accessibility in your organisation. That's on the 2nd of May, our hugely popular PDF accessibility session on the 9th of May, and how to develop inclusive, accessible customer services on the 15th of May, which is the day before GAD, which is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And then just finally, you can also sign up to our newsletter for the latest advice about disability and inclusion. And you can sign up to free webinars at /webinars. And coming up, we have a session on Wednesday, the 5th of June, which is coming live from Google Accessibility Discovery Centre in London. And then the Volunteers Week webinar on the 6th of June. And following that in July, dementia and simple tech tweaks that can help with guests from Alzheimer's Society. So please do sign up for those. And thank you again, everyone, and also to Claire, my clear text, and my colleagues in the background. And please do complete the feedback form that you'll be directed to, and we'll be in touch with you very soon. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you at the next session.